What is up, guys? Today we will be going over production cost, markup, and selling price, and finding one when any of the two are known. So a quick definition of the three terms is production cost, which is sometimes referred to as just cost, is the cost to manufacture the item. I think I should add this, the item. So if an item costs $50 to manufacture, that's the production cost. Sometimes it's just referred to as cost, but I like to say production cost because I think it's a bit more specific. Markup is the amount added to the cost price for profit. If you want to make some profit, you put a markup, and companies always put some markup so that they can make a profit. And lastly is selling price, the price an item is sold at. This is basically the production cost and then the markup as well. So this is the final price. This is the price that you're purchasing the item at. An item has a $50 production cost and a markup of 10%. What is the selling price? So it costs us $50 to produce. Here, let me color code it actually. Markup of 10%. So a markup of 10% would mean that we are adding 10% to the value. So this is the same thing. To find the total cost, you would do production cost, then you would multiply it by the markup. So adding 10%. Well, multiplying it by 100% plus the markup, right? Because you're keeping that $50 plus your additional 10% margin. So that's times by 1.1. And that will be the selling price. So in this case, 50 times 1.1 is $55. The selling price on this item is $55. Now the next question, this one will be slightly tougher, but again, same idea. An item has a $70 production cost and a selling price of $150. What is the markup? Okay, so now we know that it costs $70 to produce. We have to times this by some number, which is the markup. So 70 times whatever our markup is, we're going to give this the variable m, equals, this equals, I guess I'll make it red, equals 150. So to calculate this, we can divide both sides of the equation by 70. Also, if you're not familiar with how to solve these basic one variable equations, I would make a video on it, but there's already just so much content online that you can find. You can go to Khan Academy, sites like that. Yeah, there's a lot. So if you're not comfortable with solving these kinds of equations, just go over there, spend around 20 to 30 minutes practicing, and then come back to here. Anyways, so we get m. I'm just going to round it to the nearest tenth. So m is approximately 2.143. So 2.143, if we convert this to a percent, that is 214.3% markup. And that makes sense, right? Because 150 is a little bit more than 2 times $70. So 214.3% markup. And lastly, we have an item has a, we're using orange for markup. An item has a markup of 25% and a selling price of $275. What is the production cost? So now we're finding production cost. We'll give this the variable p. So we get p times by 1.125, well, not 1.125, 1.25, because we're adding 25%, again, markup of 25%, equals 275. So if we divide both sides by 1.25 to isolate to the variable p, so we divide by 1.25, we divide by 1.25, p, let me just keep it black actually, because now we have the final answer for p equals 275 over 1.25, and it's 220. So the production cost is $220. So I just want to end this video with a little equation which I think that you might find useful. You might have noticed that for all these problems we've been doing, let me just define the variables. Markup is defined by the variable m, selling price is s, and production cost is p. You might have noticed that for all these equations, we did the following to solve. We did our production cost times by 1 plus our markup, right? Because our markup here is 25%, so we have this 0.25, 25% plus 1 because we're also retaining the initial value, equals the selling price. Now you can use this equation to find one of the variables if you know the other two. Anyways, I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.